Welcome to the In My Humble Opinion podcast, a podcast that looks to discuss a number of topics that sometimes create more questions than answers. The views and opinions expressed by the presenters are their own and can be assured are utterly and woefully misinformed. If you like explicit content and naive ignorance, then please enjoy at your own risk.
Movie Showdown. Hello, and welcome to the In My Humble Opinion podcast. Today we have a special series of episodes. I'm Paul.
I'm Rob.
As always, never changes.
Unless you do it by deed poll. Who knows?
I don't know how much that is nowadays.
£60 actually.
£60. Thanks for that.
£60. There you go.
Brilliant. There we go. Information right off the bat. I love it. So it is a special series. We are going to have a movie tournament. We're going to find out the greatest movie from a pick of 16 movies that me and Rob have thought these are the best movies ever for their different attributes. We're going to pit them against each other and choose which one comes out on top. So the movies we will just go through in their versus order. So we're not going to reveal which movies they are immediately, but we're going to reveal who's versus who. If that movie wins, they progress through to the next round.
In the equivalent of the Football World Cup, we've done the group stages. Don't worry about that. Me and Paul hashed out the group stages over almost 20 years worth of discussion. We've worked out. So we're going straight into we finished the groups. Yeah, so this will be the quarterfinals, we'll say. Then it will go to the semi-finals and then the final.
That is exactly it, actually. Yeah, those are sports terms that I'm not really fully up to speed with, but it sounds good.
That's right. I've already been on Ladbrokes and bet 365 or whatever it is. Listen, I know the odds, and the odds are in someone's favour.
There's a few outsiders in this competition.
Very true.
That might prove to be a dead cert. That seems like something that people who bet say.
So yeah, kind of
she's a good horse. Fine fetlocks.
Oh, she's big. I
love a big horse. They're the winners.
Yeah, big horse. High. They're measured in hands, aren't they? Like hands.
It's weird how they're measured in hands because horses don't have hands.
They don't, yeah. And also, jockeys are notorious for having small hands. And, what is a hand?
What is a hand? There we go.
Comments below, please.
Please comment on what a hand is.
What is a hand?
Other than the fact they're on the end of your arms, I don't know what the measurement is for a hand.
No idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope that you enjoy the picks that we have. We've chosen a lot of genres, films that are very different, and we've just chucked them into a hat and gone, this is what we are going to be fighting against in a way. We're fighting for each film on its good points, its bad points, its interesting points. I don't quite know.
Yeah, comedy value. I don't know.
I mean, comedy value, even in some of the most serious things, is always very important to us.
100%. Yeah.
Schindler's
Again,
List.
Hilarious.
Laugh riot.
Dawn French should have been in that.
Dawn French should have been in that. She should have played Oscar Schindler.
Exactly, like the vicar of Schindler. I don't know. The vicar of Auschwitz.
The vicar of Auschwitz. There she is.
Yeah, terrible time in history, or with current political situations, to be talking about any kind of.
Yeah. I thought of the story's pretty intense of Auschwitz. I wanted to make it more accessible for kids and do a cartoon and call it Mauschwitz.
Auschwitz. Well, Rasta Mouse, but Jewish.
Yeah. It's kind of it could be stop motion.
Right, okay, yeah, Wallace and Gromit.
Yep.
Or
Yeah, Wolf. Like, just there's a Jewish family. They're having a holiday, and all of a sudden,
The head of the SS would be almost like Pingu
yeah, I'll be like
with
Animals
the.
of Farthing Wood.
Oh,
With
fuck it. What a program. What a
Animals of
banger.
Farthing Wood. Oh no, definitely
Yeah.
good. But Animals
Yeah.
of Farthing Wood, but with genocide.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It was a good start to the show. Our first picks in the first draw of the competition are Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse versus Step Brothers. We're going to talk about points from each film. Into the Spider-Verse came out in 2018. It was a fantastic animated film.
Fantastic film.
Yep. Opened up the story of a kid called Miles Morales to a new generation. If they haven't read any comic books, totally accessible character, refreshes the whole Peter Parker story, but still has him there as a mentor. Just great. Like, as an adult, I love it. I took my kids to see it, so I didn't look like a weirdo. I enjoyed it. They enjoyed it, and in fact, like, it's our go-to film.
Also, like, leaves on a cliffhanger as well. Ends on a cliffhanger.
Definitely.
Sets up very well for the second one. I think it's also like really, really refreshing as well, especially with Marvel, because there's so often a lot of the characters are like fucking like 40, 50 years old, rehashing of these characters.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Miles Morales has only been around for like 20 years, isn't he? So, like, turn the millennium, I'm pretty sure, anyway.
Yeah, he's not that old of a character. Yeah, like, absolutely.
Great character.
But he's had some great development.
Yes, yeah, very good development. Very like inclusive development as well. And I think that's really important. It's not just like some hard done by white privileged kid who just can't get a win. No. It's actually like, a person who actually can't get a win from day dot, and I think that's really good. Also has Gwen in it as well. And I think that's extremely important to do. I think. Yes.
You want to do Gwen?
Those are your words.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, Gwen or Mary Jane?
Gwen.
Or Gwen. Okay, all right, Gwen or Aunt May in the Tom Holland films.
Oh yeah, Aunt May in the Tom Holland films.
Absolutely fantastic talent.
Good casting.
Of great casting.
Great.
Her acting performance is
wardrobe is nice.
Wardrobe, fantastic. Makeup, great. Yeah, I mean,
makeup, great.
All of that is great.
All of it is great.
All of that is great.
But no, absolutely. Yeah. Like, inclusive is very important, and he's a Puerto Rican black child who lives in the inner city of New York. It's Brooklyn. He grew up there, and you can see in the film his progression from a kid who is very, very smart, but on the cusp of, being a bit of a tearaway, really, but still very popular. Yeah. Essentially having all the Spider-Man responsibility on his shoulders. Like, once the incident of him getting bitten by the spider happens, everything changes. And it's just a spin on the Peter Parker story, which is great. Like, to kind of draw it away from white folks having different problems, like can't deliver the pizzas on time, like in that computer game. You had to deliver the pizzas on time.
Fucking hell, man. I had a lot of unhappy customers, I can tell you that. Like, they weren't getting the pizzas. I was too busy fighting like random crimes all the time, or like getting stuck at a corner of a building. Like, I think it's also like, with that, it's really refreshing because you've got Peter Parker who I love Peter Parker, I love it all, but it's very like, everything's so hard, everything's against me. But Miles Morales is like, fucking hell, motherfuckers. Like, this is good. I've got this. I'm confident. He comes from like a very well respected family who'd like have great political views. And he's not ashamed, and he's not scared of his powers. He's like, I'm happy with this kind of thing. was Peter Parker's always like, "Oh, really? Oh, not again."
Oh no! Oh, they only paid $30 for this
Yeah,
picture of Spider-Man.
yeah.
Oh.
So go to another newspaper, Peter. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Right,
It's the only paper in New
is
York.
it?
The
Is it
Bugle.
though? If I was like in England, we'll say, if I was like selling my photos to the Sun, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, right, what?" And the guy Rupert Murdoch's like, "Nah, sack of shit." I'd be like, "All right, fuck you. I'm off to the Telegraph then."
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I
If
mean?
the Sun ain't taking your photos, Telegraph.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
But no, absolutely, absolutely. With the film itself, like talking about the style of it, the animation is really like good. It was slightly jarring when you first watched it. I think I don't know if that's how you felt, but it was kind of with the animation being on the second frame instead of like smooth, so it was kind of jittery. To give
Jittery,
it
yeah.
like a comic book type cell drawing, like the
Ah,
bubbles, the Ditko bubbles, all these types of things really add into the fact that it's a comic book that you're watching. Like the color
yeah,
palette, it's all fucking great. Like I do love it. I
I
think a
love it.
lot of like time and effort went into it. So
Yeah,
that's why Spider-Man is on the list.
it is. The one it's competing against, though, in my humble opinion,
Hey,
is my most quotable film ever. Like, I love this film. Fuck it. It's my choice.
yeah, you
My
bastard.
choice
Yeah.
out of these two is Step Brothers, 1000%. Purely
Mm.
because it's so quotable. I can turn it on at any time. I could even like just listen to the audio of it. I
Yeah.
find it absolutely hilarious. I feel like with the cast, John C. Riley, he was magnificent in it.
Yeah.
And obviously, like Will Ferrell is an absolute genius in it. It's perfect casting.
It is.
Absolutely loved it.
The
Like, yeah.
the improvisation in it is
Yeah.
like those two actors, like it obviously worked really well because they did a couple of films together after.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but no, I agree. Like even when it came out that it was Step Brothers against Into the Spider-Verse, I was like, oh, it's lost straight away. I love Step Brothers. It's like a reflection of like everybody's relationship with their own brother, step brother, real brother, whatever. Like
Yeah.
all tried to like one up by putting your ball sack on a drum set. Like it's just
Who
it's just a
hasn't?
way.
Who hasn't? It's really like I think it's really you can really like empathize with it. Everybody knows one of those characters in real life,
Yeah.
don't they? And they know, yeah,
The
it's
bully
so
brother, yeah, like his wife
yeah,
like sleep with.
absolute. Oh my god, I even like almost forgot about that. And like how they eventually like how do they get on with each other and stuff?
Yeah.
I guarantee it's like the epitome of like male existence. None of us ever like really properly actually mature mentally. We only mature by our actions purely
Yeah.
because we have to as adults. But in this film, it's like no, they're allowed to be them. And
Yeah.
I love that fact. And we're all jealous of it.
Of course. When they
Yeah.
start to bond, like it's such a male thing as well. They're just showing each other their cool stuff. Like his like
Yeah.
Randy Jackson signed like samurai sword.
Not a bit. Do you want to go do karate in the basement? Oh my
Oh
god!
no, that is
Who
literally
wouldn't want to do that?
no,
Like,
it's the best thing ever.
yeah. And now it's like adults meet up at I don't know, meet up and they're like, oh yeah, so how much money are you putting into your pension fund? Just like irrelevant shit. But those guys, they're like, let's watch Shark Week.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it.
I mean, you do feel sorry for them that like they've got through life just mollycoddled by their parents through their different circumstances, but that's what makes them so charming.
God,
I don't-
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's just something about when they separate and they go to live in different places and what
yeah.
like Brennan, Will Ferrell's character, like
Yeah.
toilet roll for the first time. But like before that, he doesn't know what to do, so wipes his ass with
Yeah.
like, the toilet mat.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
And that's completely relatable to so many people. Like, so many people.
I mean, what are you gonna do if you've done a poop and there's no
Yeah.
toilet roll because you don't know how to buy it? You're gonna use
Yeah.
whatever's to hand except hands.
Yeah, look, it's just so funny. The actual wardrobe of it as well is so good.
Yeah,
So
the
good.
wardrobe.
But
Yeah,
do you think? I think eventually this, I would say that this film wins. So I almost don't want to talk about it too much because on the next bracket, I want to have something like
yeah.
some little ammo to go against the
I
film
completely
next
agree.
category.
I mean, there is no shadow of a doubt, in my humble opinion.
Here we go.
But like for in total, I mean, the two films are very stand out in their own way. But as a personal preference of film, Step Brothers goes above a lot of things. Like if
Yeah.
I feel down, Step Brothers is the one that I'll go to. It's either that or
Yeah.
Anchorman.
Yeah, both Will Ferrell films.
Yeah, of course, because
Yeah,
it's the
right.
improvisation and the
Yeah.
random shit that they say. So we'll save some of the good ammo. We'll go into the plot a little bit further for Step Brothers. So sorry, Into the Spider-Verse. You're a banger of a film. The soundtrack is wicked. The
Very
animation
good.
is psychedelic. Growing up
God,
in
yeah.
the Bronx, like more
And
than
it's-
I've wanted to be Peter Parker. To be fair,
Oh
that's
yeah,
how
yeah,
much
definitely.
of a role model he is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like he goes for a lot more than
yeah,
Uncle Ben dying, to be fair.
yeah, exactly. I don't want to be Peter Parker because he sounds like perpetually miserable with
He
his
does.
pure actual gift. Whereas Miles is like, "Fuck, I've got this gift. Let's go." Like,
Yeah, his
he
confidence.
he's enjoying it. He's loving
Yeah,
his life. He's happier. I
he
think.
is. It definitely
Yeah.
rolls on as well into the Across the Spider-Verse. Like his story of progression is some of the best written like character like development outside of
Mm.
like computer games. And now I will rate computer games above like some modern televisual storytelling.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
computer games have time to progress a character, and the fact you're in the character's shoes in a computer game
Mm.
also helps with understanding that some of the
Well,
best.
you are the character. So
Yeah,
in a computer game, you are the protagonist. That's you. You have a determined character to which you are mainly invested in. But when you're watching a film, it's your interest is spread about over
yeah,
many different characters. So
definitely,
that's what
definitely
makes
that
it,
it really needs
I
to
think.
hook on to you. So, yep,
Yeah.
Step Brothers wins there. It's
So
um, the bit where they're like he like buries him.
yes,
So,
but he lets him.
he lets him do it.
It's
Just
like-
stays in there like, what are you
It's like,
doing?
oh no, that's so good.
I thought we were friends. Okay, so next up in the bracket we have, this is a difficult
Yeah,
one. Films are
it
10
is.
apart from each other, but they caught a generation on each
Yes.
of the sides, and if you're old enough, it caught you twice, right in the movie ghoulies.
Very true. They're very much like talismans for not only like a genre but a time.
Yeah,
I think, and also they're like at the height of. I personally would say they are the epitome and the height of both of the main actors, the main characters as well. I would say.
definitely. Like film wise, yes. I think this was at the peak of, I don't want to say their careers, but they were the best in these films, I would
The
say.
performance, yeah.
Yeah, performance wise. And the films in question are Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So it's the second one. And
Banger.
Forrest Gump, which,
Huh?
as you may know, Rob is a big fan of, as mentioned
my
on
boy.
previous episodes.
Oh god, I just can't. Almost when we were like generating these lists, I was like, I almost can't put it on there.
It's so tricky. It's so tricky.
Yeah,
So
very tricky, but it's
two
not. So
two great
so, yeah.
directors. Two great directors. So
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, Steven Spielberg, written by George Lucas. Like you know, the dream team in a way for nerds.
Yeah.
Came out in 1984. Great year.
That's mental. That's the year you were born.
I was born that year, nearly 40 years ago now.
Christ.
40 years.
It's so good.
But
It's
and
so good.
This is why both these films are really good though, because they are set in either a time that's kind of romanticized or over
Yeah.
a period of time that's happened. They're not in the
Mm.
present. So
Yeah.
you watch it, you're already outside of what's happening, and that's a lot more enjoyable. You know, you love the sets, the costumes, all these types of things.
Yeah.
Especially Forrest Gump as it progresses through the years, you're like, oh yeah, that shit happened then in the 60s
It's a
and all these
fucking
events.
documentary, man. It is a
Is it
documentary.
though?
Well, as
Yeah.
you know from previous episodes, it's a lot of fact that I source from.
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
quoted. So Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, so second outing for Indy. He starts off one of the best entrances to a film, I think. He starts off in like Shanghai or China or whatever, and he's trying to do a deal with a guy called like Lao Chi.
And he's wearing like a white tuxedo. Is that that one?
He's in the tuxedo at the beginning, yeah. And like he's doing a deal, and then like he gets poisoned because it's Indiana Jones, and he tries to get like the antidote, but loads of fucking slapstick comedy happens around him. Like punches a man through 50 balloons and uses a gong to escape machine gun fire. So
Exactly.
he accidentally ends up in India, and he visits because essentially when he escapes, like the plane is owned by the guy that poisoned him.
Yeah.
The pilots jump out the plane, and he escapes on a raft out of the plane.
He fucking does.
With a woman and Short Round, who's probably the best sidekick in any film ever.
The greatest one. Wasn't he Data in the Goonies as well?
We'll come to that a little bit later.
There you go.
Like
very
combo. He was in Indiana Jones, or it was released first. And Indiana, or the Goonies, we'll say the Goonies are on the list because why not?
They are, yeah.
But yeah, so good line there. Like he's come with Forrest Gump, he's come off the back of like the Back to the Future trilogy. It's 1994. He's like, I'm gonna put it in with like a historical piece now.
Yeah, it was based on a book. Fuck knows what the book is called. I don't think it's called Forrest Gump. And I'm pretty sure Forrest Gump is like the most Oscar-nominated film ever. Don't quote me on that.
I mean, it may be.
I think it is. I think it got like 14. Anyway, like normally for me, that's completely irrelevant. Normally for me, I'm like, oh, avoid that. Oscars is a fucking boys' club. Harvey Weinstein. Like, I'm not really about that. But this, like, that film, it changed me. I swear to God, it's a story of like a boy who has insurmountable amount of like disadvantages against everyone else, and it's so like and he isn't conscious about it. He has no idea, and he just.
I love Forrest Gump, right? And Forrest Gump is great. The first time I saw it, I was like, "This is really good. It's really, really good." Like I loved every scene, every time.
I feel like you're going to say it,
but like as a character,
God,
as a character, like he's quite one-dimensional. The characters around him.
Like how many dimensions do you want? Sorry, I'm arguing.
He's the main character. You kind of want some kind of progression. He doesn't even realize like things until the end of the film, not even that.
Yeah, and he doesn't even realize that. He doesn't realize the substance and the effect of him across.
But he just found himself in all these scenarios. He didn't there was no making of any of it. He was just there.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. And he's so like, I just did this.
When he's running, how sweaty was his ass? Like he ran through a big beard.
I mean, what you trying to say? I mean, his beard's on his face.
But no, but he also probably had a beard on his butt as well.
On his bottom.
On his butt.
Yeah, maybe he was shot in the buttocks.
I do think it's quite quotable as well in terms of like some of the funniest stuff, like "Run, Forrest, Run," and like me and Jenny go together like peas and carrots.
Yeah, I mean, my personal favorite quote. Can't even believe I'm going to say it straight away. Is when he goes sit on the bus and the kid goes, "You can't sit here." I'm like, let him fucking sit there. and Forrest is like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can't sit there then." He doesn't understand that they're just taking a fucking piss out of him. I was such like an innocent man and Beautiful.
It was a bit of Oscar fodder, really, because with films like that,
Yeah,
if you
right.
play, it's like they kind of make fun of it in Tropic Thunder, where the Oscar film is like this simple Jack, like it's tugging at the heartstrings with somebody who's at a disadvantage in life. You know, they have all these amazing things happen to them, but if it works, it does work, and Forrest Gump is the prime example of that.
I think I totally agree with that, because I watched only recently, for the first time ever, last weekend just gone, I watched What Is Eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh yeah,
and it's the first time I've ever seen that. And I was watching it, and I was like, oh my god! Like the Oscar nods for an able person to perform as a character that is not able.
Yeah.
Oh god, they love it, don't they?
Mm.
Like, DiCaprio playing Arnie, I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh god, he lapped it up.
Yeah. I guess with Forrest Gump, it's a multi-genre film. It's a huge drama. There's huge action pieces in the war. You know, it's a comedy as well. Like, you got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Like, you know,
you ain't got no legs.
You know,
love it.
You see Lieutenant Dan on the boat, and he's scurrying around like a man broom. Like, he's just there.
Like an angry fucking pirate.
An angry sack of potatoes with arms. Like,
it also, like, it covers so many iconic time periods all in one hit, in a flash of an eye. And it covers them so, like, seamlessly.
60s and 70s, doesn't it? And then
the 80s into the 90s. Oh,
but then Indiana Jones, like, not only like we're going back to it, because I don't think we just went on to, it was me that went on to Forrest Gump, because I was like, yeah, we'll just get it out of the way with, we'll let Rob like ejaculate over it a little bit.
Oh man, don't. There's going to be a pint of baby gravy by the end of it, I can tell you that. A whole pint.
I drank all the baby gravy.
Yeah, baby gravy.
But like with Indiana Jones, like the story, like his character evolves a little bit more. It's very comedy, action film, but it's also this is the darkest one in my opinion, other than the melting Nazi faces. Like,
oh yeah, but don't worry about that.
No, like kids from a village had got stolen, and then it's like led by this guy who's ripping hearts out of chests.
It was scary, wasn't it?
Yeah, terrified as a kid, and I loved that. And they don't make scary films like for kids anymore.
No, they don't. They should do. Scare your children.
With a man ripping a heart out of another man.
Yeah. Oh, like eating monkey brains as well. It's like,
brains. Yeah.
Yeah.
The monkey brains.
Great.
Absolutely. No, one of my favourites. It was hard to choose between the three proper Indiana Jones films, because we don't count Kingdom of Crystal Skull. And I've watched a bit of the Dial of Destiny, and other than the weird CGI face making him younger at the beginning, I kind of lost interest quite quickly.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, but out of the three, this one stands out the most.
Absolutely the best. People go on about like the Raiders with the ball, the big boulder. Yeah, great. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all you got. You haven't got the bridge falling down. You haven't got the, like, what are they even called? Like the skull crystal things that he steals, puts in his little bag, and then it burns out of the bag. Fuck.
I know. Stupid
the hauntingness of, like, so he's there and he's like, shit, I'm there and I want to get this item. I want to get this, like, item for the British Museum or say whatever. And then he's like, oh my god, no, we've got to save these kids because they're going through it. And if you've got a film where they whip children, you know.
And you know, back then they did it. They just did it in the film. Like, it had to be, there's no CGI. They just whipped a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Method acting.
Method acting. But yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing with Indiana Jones, like, I think that I personally love, this is my choice, obviously, is that feeling of exploration mixed with the, like, religious, mythical nature of the world as well. You know, archaeology doesn't really have all this hokey shit around it, but it's nice to think that, you know, it may do. Like, you know, with the Ark of the Covenant, like, you know, it was just a relic, really, but at the end it fucking weren't. And, you know, with with the stones and all that in Temple of Doom, it was just so good.
Got the supernatural aspect of it.
Yeah, that's what makes these films great.
Yeah, and we all know from our last episode that, like, with archaeologists and stuff, they're corrupt as shit.
They are.
They'll plant a little Swiss watch here and there wherever they want. They'll do
They
it.
will. Not Indy though. No.
No,
He's
not
top
in there.
tier, and he's obviously the basis of like Nathan Drake in Uncharted as well.
Oh,
And I
definitely.
give that ratings.
If I could choose my dad, it'll be him.
What, Indy or Nathan Drake?
Indy, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Nathan Drake be an awful father.
It would be
Mass
the
murderer.
I know. All he does is kill people without
Kill people.
remorse.
Yeah, kill people with headshots. What's
A funny line after.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
This is going to be difficult. This is going to be a very difficult one because both of them have incredible merits. But if we're going to go on impact, I think you brought it up at the beginning, and we don't hold much for Oscars or whatever like that. But the social impact of the film might have to play massive relevance here. And Forrest Gump definitely had more of a social impact than Indiana Jones 2, which is a shame in my opinion. That does mean that I think that Forrest Gump should go through.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, what about the? Are we like compare soundtracks between the two of them? Oh, wait, yeah, Forrest Gump shits over all soundtracks purely because No, we'll talk about it later.
Fuck off with the soundtrack, actually, because there is no iconic set of horns other than the da 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 da. Like John.
Yeah, all right, yeah, great. What? And then what? They recycle that between fucking 8 to 12 different films or whatever.
Yeah, but
no, behave yourself.
But it's iconic.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I can't think of what the Forrest Gump main theme is, other than it's at the beginning. It's got the feather, and it's like.
There's that. But that's just a thing. But the music that they actually use throughout the film is iconic because each song that they choose is like detrimental. Is like a massive beacon for the time of which it is.
Okay, I'll give you the fact because Forrest. We're going to talk about music. The guy that did the music, like you got John Williams, who's well established and is pretty much used by Steven Spielberg in all his films, and he does iconic hooks in each of the films. You know, Jaws, you know, Star Wars, all these films like with George Lucas as well. But you know,
fucking like, lazy music, single note.
No.
No. Whoa!
Like,
fucking hell.
Alan Silvestri does the music to Forrest Gump, and he does have quite a heritage in his films that he's done the music to. So he's done the Polar Express. He did do the Avengers theme tune, which they've stuck with, like the So he did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's done those Avengers films. He's done like 100 films. So, but now I do remember it's all very floaty and light and simple, like
beautiful.
Jack is.
But right, so it means at the start of the film, it's all light-hearted. It's like and music's exactly the same. It's like yeah, light-hearted. And then at the end of the film, when they play it again, it's like fucking hell. It's so emotionally dense film. When you hear the song again, you're like, oh my god, that's so dense in emotion. it's like
dense, like Forrest Gump is.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. It's like a really wet sponge. Just full of it.
With films like that, though, you can easily draw on music of the time period. So, you know, it tickles all of your historical music fancies by going through the 50s, 60s, and, you know, especially the 60s, where it's like steered towards the Vietnam War. You got the really cool, like, rock.
Yeah, good shit.
And then it's kind of like leading into whatever.
70s,
like
the 80s.
It's good. So to me, it's a bit of a cop out in films because that's just drawing on nostalgia. Like it happens like all the time.
Right, it's so bad, isn't it? Because like to make you nostalgic to have a link to a film, dear God. Like who is gonna link any like it doesn't matter whatever Indiana Jones does in any of his films, it could be like, oh, Indiana Jones is sitting down having breakfast. and it's that fucking music. Oh, Indiana Jones is like blowing up a
at the beginning
mountain.
of Temple of Doom, he's like the woman he's with, like the whole time, she's singing "Anything Goes," but in like Chinese. It's fucking great.
That's racist.
It's not. She's
That's
in
fucking
China.
racist.
She's like
right, exactly. What, cultural appropriation? What, some white?
cultural
Okay,
appropriation didn't exist in the 50s. It was cultural suppression.
Fair enough. Some white girl that looks like Marilyn Monroe bowls over there and starts singing these songs. And I'm like, oh look, we're educating the Eastern democracy. No, don't try and educate them, and don't try and steal their shit. Do your own shit. Stop it. Stop stealing artifacts.
Stop stealing artifacts. Yeah, indie. Yeah. Put them down. Okay.
Yeah.
Indie goes to the wayside. It makes me sad, but if we go on social impact of the film, Forrest Gump gets it. So
Crimea River.
Forrest Gump goes through to the next round. So that means that Forrest Gump will go against Step Brothers in the semi-finals. Ooh. Yeah. So next up, I'm really sad about Indiana Jones. Anyway, next up,
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Indy. This is a bit of an interesting one. We have David Bowie's Labyrinth, or Jim Henson's Labyrinth,
yep.
Which is a fucking great film, versus Akira, the anime. Now, I chose Akira because we'll go into Akira first. Akira was something that had a massive impact on my interests. It changed my personality.
Who told you about that film? Just wondering.
Was it you?
Who? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking. Like, where did you hear about this?
I heard about
Magical Beast.
But like, if I have, like most men have, like lived films.
Did I hear about Labyrinth from you? Just asking.
No.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking.
All right, come.
Sorry. I think that's the first time you've said that on recording.
But I grew up around films. Like, my mum, she's really into films. She had the weirdest taste in films, but what that did is expanded the fact that I like to watch anything. Like anything shit, anything good. And I loved films so much that I worked for a now disbanded company, which needs to make a comeback massively.
Yeah, it does.
Blockbuster Video.
Maybe like not a really crap Netflix show, but just a really good fucking vibe.
I couldn't even watch that show because it is not an actual reflection of. Like, just imagine you go into CEX, and the people that work in CEX, they used to work in Blockbusters. They were those people.
Yeah.
But like the fact that with Blockbusters, it was that I loved it so much. I worked there for many years. Like, it was the whole experience, and the fact that you could be like real smug that you've watched all these films to people that come in, like try to like rent out. You're like, are you going to rent out fucking adaptation with Nicolas Cage? I don't think you should. It's a piece of shit.
I don't think you should.
No. Change it for this. Lost of the Mohicans.
You were like a librarian, and like people like, oh, should I read this? Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, like snooty spreading my own farts type. Yeah, smugness.
Yeah.
But
I'm better than you.
When we were growing up, it benefited you as well. I used to come home with like 10 free rentals a week, and we just watch films all the time.
Oh fuck yeah! No, I loved it. I loved the fact you were there. It was great. And like, and I think personally, it was the job that best fitted you. Sorry, I'm not. Oh, you're only good for blood. No, you're far better than that, obviously. But it was like it wasn't even work for you.
No,
you were there, and like you were loving life. It was great.
Yeah, I still, even in my current job, I'm like, I tell people, my managers, anybody, like, I miss Blockbusters so much. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, one time at Blockbusters, when someone wanted to rent What Women Want, and I was like, no, how dare you? What have you done?
That's a great film.
It is actually. It's my go-to misery film.
Yeah, it's a great film. Yeah. You should try Misery.
Oh my god, what a great film that is. Oh, how are your ankles, mate?
Oh no, there's too many films that could have gone on the list. But with Blockbusters, like, it kind of really expanded like how I watch films just in general. Like I really went into Japanese cinema for ages, and then Korean cinema. I would like all these phases. I watched mob movies. We'd have theme weeks where I'd bring back like just all horror films or all comedy films. Like we'd watch 13 Ghosts like 15 times in a row.
That's good. Or like sometimes as a little treat, you bring home loads of like hentai films. Remember those days? Oh yeah. Yeah, those hentai films.
I have those because you badgered me for them.
Yeah, you weren't there those weekends, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
It's like really tough, dry bed sheets when I came back.
Yeah, you'd be hanging out with your girlfriend, and I'll be like, yeah.
Got any of that, that octopus hentai.
Got any of that? Exactly, yeah. What do you want that for? Research,
dirty boy.
Yeah. No, sorry, go on.
Octopus hentai leads on to like Akira. It doesn't at all. It doesn't really bear any relevance other than this art style. But with Akira,
I think you're almost being a little bit racist there, actually.
Racist, Rob, shut up. Stop.
Well,
but with Akira, like it really changed the way I've thought about films just in general.
Yeah.
Like the story was it exposed me to like Eastern storytelling. It exposed me to what could only be the biggest impact on my life, which is just like anime or animation in general. Like I love it so much, and never has anything been crafted so meticulously other than the film Akira. Like I've watched all the stuff about it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And it was made in 1988. There were no shorts back then. It was all
hand drawn, wasn't it?
Yep. All hand drawn, all the backgrounds like hand painted. And fluid movement. I'm in awe of the whole thing. And the story itself is like really, it's Eastern storytelling at its best. There's so many morals involved. It's heavily driven by friendship, and that you never give up, even if your friend turns into some crazy telekinesis wielding giant armed bastard who could literally bring about World War IV, because World War III already happened in this film.
That's true. Yeah, very true.
So I do love this film like immensely, and it's so cyberpunk cool.
Yes, yeah. But in the 80s, it was cyberpunk cool. Now in like 2023, cyberpunk's like, cyberpunk. Fucking hell, has anyone heard of this shit? And like nearly 40 years ago, it's like, well, over there, a couple of oceans away, they were on it all day long.
Exactly. Like
it's got a cool motorbike as well.
Cool motorbike, yeah. Like Canada rides it's the bike. People get Akira is like the entity, is the thing that kind of takes it. People get lost in that. And you got Tetsuo, who's the guy who gets taken over by Akira, like the thing in his head, and then his friend like Canada, who is the guy that you see in all the screenshots and stuff. He is he's the guy in the red with the cool bike, and never wanted to ride a bike that just like goes and has the fucking trails on it. Like, I don't want to ride bikes, but I would do that. And like at the beginning,
oh my god, I'll never ever forget.
What?
Time. Do you remember that time you rode a motorbike? Do you remember?
What? Like outside of my house?
Outside your house? Yeah, oh my fucking god.
Did I even ride it though, or did it just?
No, like it's like, and it like revved up. You're like, oh, you're like, yeah, look, I'm a cool fucking biker with my Celtic tattoo. You're like, yeah, look at me, and it just like literally like swayed and flopped, and like that was it. The biggest anticlimax ever. And then they went, oh, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, exactly. I saw that. And I was like, no, my social fucking insecurity is just through the roof. I don't need another layer.
You have a body strength to hold a motorbike up.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was that. I'm not tall enough anyway. I wasn't tall enough to get on the ride.
Oh, what are you bringing down? That's bad. I can't. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not my fault. It's your fault.
Akira dream that did.
Yeah.
Riding
after
off,
that,
smacking a cloud in the face.
Exactly. Yeah. Before that, you were like, yeah, I'm gonna be him. Yeah, relive my fantasy down fucking Batterball Road or Greatness Lane or wherever it was. You're like, yeah, look at me. Like, no, everyone's actually looking at you.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
like being trapped by a bike because it went like a meter. I'm on the floor now and I'm stuck. James Cameron was like, this is my like influence for the Terminator films. Like it's had so many like influential things, and hopefully there's going to be a saying that there's going to be a live action remake, which I'd be interested in seeing. I'm never optimistic about to live action remakes, although One Piece was pretty good. I'm gonna
great
gonna
film.
watch this one, but on the flip side of this,
my film in contention with that is Labyrinth, and I fucking tell you what now. I tell you here right now. My artistic. I mean, I'm not talking musical icon. I'm not talking film icon. I'm not talking artistic icon. I'm talking like literal icon. Full stop. For me, is David Bowie. Like, here's my boy. I love everything that he's ever done, even the absolute batshit crazy stuff. I love everything about him. I love everything that he did, how he bended generations to his will.
Yep.
And as soon as the generations were like, I'll go with your will, he's like, no, you fucking won't. You're going with this will instead.
Yeah, so true.
I loved him, and I love that film. I love it to death. Yeah. The music in it is amazing. All of it. Again, I would say,
the fact he had like such a direct touch with the music, like not only just in the songs that we know.
Music.
It was his
it's
music.
him and this other guy that did it, and everything. Jim Henson is obviously Jim Henson, and and it was great in it. Yeah, and I mean, you got Jennifer Connelly in it.
Touchy subject.
Let's not worry about how old she was in there or not, or how old David Bowie was at that time or not.
We're not going to talk about the age gap, and
don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that. It's there, and I think it's another film that is so quotable.
Yeah.
Like, it's disgusting. Yeah,
absolutely.
Love it.
I mean, like the standout character in that film is the worm in the wall.
Yeah. Come inside, meet the missus. Have a cup of tea.
Have a cup of tea. Don't want to go that way. I go straight to the
castle. Fuck me. I love that shit.
I love that film, but I would have hated to be a puppeteer in that film, working with David Bowie at crotch level.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So,
his crotch was operated by 3 puppeteers independently.
His crotch was?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, why not?
2 men on the bell.
Listen, I would be fucking there. I would do 3 people's jobs. I wouldn't care. No, not at all. I love that scene, where he's like juggling the balls. They're all going around. I love that because like his hands are behind his back, and you've got like another guy just doing it. But his face, Bowie's face is like, yeah, I'm fucking doing
He's
this.
selling it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I try my baby. Trying hard as babe could try. What could I do? Fuck me. I love it.
No, I know. The lyrics are a bit odd, but it matches. Well, is he singing?
Like what? How many lyrics are in Akira's songs?
Nothing. It just goes. It just goes like.
Like random, incomprehensible humming.
That's racist because most of it's Japanese. But like with like dance magic dance, whatever. Like, is he singing up to the baby, or is he singing about his baby, as in like a lady, or what's he singing about?
He's talking about a baby, isn't it? Dance magic dance. Let me put that spell on you.
His baby's lover's gone, and now my baby's blue. Is he singing? What? Okay, just help me.
Well, yeah, it's like he's suffocated a baby, hasn't it?
He's suffocated a baby.
Yeah, baby's blue, and he's suffocated the baby.
Nobody knew,
and it's blue. Nobody knew. Nobody fucking knew. What could I do? Slugs and snails and puppy dogs' tails. Obviously, that's a fucking classic.
How many babies did he steal before he stole? What's the kid called? The baby. Do you remember the baby's name?
Jacob,
no,
Jeremy.
Toby,
yeah. Fucking.
Yeah, Toby.
Obviously.
What,
Little Tobes. Yeah, Hoggle.
Okay.
Pissing in the river. Don't give a fuck. Hates fairies.
Yep.
What do you mean? What's odd about that? You never had a piss in a river?
No, the first introduction to somebody who looks like David Jason from Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, he
is
does
he pissing in the river?
Yeah. Wait, yeah, fighting fairies. Fairies are cunts. Full stop. Sarah bowls over. So, oh, look at the fairies. Hogwarts like, no, listen, they're cunts. And she finds out the bad way, the hard way, because they end up biting her. So, not being funny, he's trying to tell her, trying to educate her, trying to warn her, but she won't have it.
Overall, it is like, as you've grown up with it, at the time it was kind of a new fairy tale, but now it's fairy tale in its own right. It's a modern fairy tale, the tale of the labyrinth, and what happened there. Like it's ingrained in many people's childhoods, and even nowadays, if you show the film to kids, they're a little bit freaked out. But it's also that's what the film was intended to do. Fairy tales are not cute and fluffy.
Oh, they're not pretty.
Darkness to every fairy tale, and Labyrinth is that really well, and all the puppets are great, and you push boundaries. Ludo as a free puppet, and the hands you've all got their
when he's falling down. Exactly. I like the dog. Listen, if there's a film with a dog in it, no, Ambrosius, Mom. And he's like fucking shit up. I like the scenes where like that dog is just running with the puppet on top of it.
It's like jabba, swinging around.
Good.
Oh, no.
So good. Like I just love that shit. And it is definitely my top 5 films ever. But if it wasn't paired up against Akira, then I would say Labyrinth. But really, it's got to be Akira, isn't it?
Saying Akira, yeah.
I'm saying Akira.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so difficult because Labyrinth had a huge impact on me as a kid. Again, similar reasons to Akira. It was just the most fantastical with the most practical things, and you can create a story out of that.
Yeah.
But maybe with the Labyrinth, the downfall is the song with the weird head throwing people.
Oh, that was filler.
It goes on far too long.
But that was only there. That had no relevance to stories. So they filmed it and they cut it and they edit it and everything. They were like, oh shit, this isn't long enough to make a film. Yeah, it was too short. So they literally put that in just to fill it.
It's a piece
and
of
it
shit.
Is way too long. It is a piece of shit.
Purely because of that, and the rest of the film is golden. Akira is going through.
Goes in. Deservedly so. Great film.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. So next up, so to go against Akira, we have Little Shop of Horrors versus Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. This couldn't be so far apart.
Yeah. Right, may I just quickly say, I had no input into this whole, we're drawing films out of the hat. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was done behind closed doors. I had no input.
It's a random thing.
It. Fuck. You sent me a picture. Oh yeah, look how random this is. I was like, yeah, look how random that is. Yeah.
But these are very, very different films. One is a musical. And the other is about a plant in a shop. And I'll give you this. I mean, anything with Rick Moranis in it,
right, I'm
instantly in. Like anything
Steve
that he does.
Martin.
Steve Martin. Like it's got a great
little name called Steve Martin.
Little tiny man called Steve Martin. Or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, Ghostbusters, like all of those films he was in. It's such a shame he doesn't act anymore. But
Spaceballs.
Yep.
Is he dead? I don't know.
No, he retired from acting and just now makes like comedy music albums.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh. What's he like write for Ariana Grande or?
Well, I don't know if he does. It does.
Doja Cat.
Could do.
Imagine if he does do that. Imagine if I did her. Cut that out.
So yeah, Little Shop of Horrors. Now I haven't seen this film for like ages. It came out in 1986, right. So I remember. I think I've seen it about once. I know there's the song "Suddenly Seymour," but then that's
Suddenly Seymour.
I remember
you're right here beside me.
You know, in the 80s, they had a habit of doing, and the early 90s, like cartoon spin-offs of films.
Yes.
Oh my god,
yeah.
And
I completely
Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yeah.
They did one for Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah,
which
they
I
did.
kind of remember a little bit more than the actual film, but
Are you
that's
joking?
yeah, that's it. So I can't really have much of an input here, but I will talk about Lord
No,
of the
fair.
Rings for like 7 hours.
Oh, right. Yeah, great. Because that's how long each fucking film is. So, right. Little Shop of Horrors, the musical, is a representation of an original tale. So the original tale was like based around, I'm pretty sure it's like a Russian story based around just after the First World War or Second World War. I don't know. You'd have to watch Forrest Gump to find out because that's obviously like clear lineage of time. So it's a remake of that, and it's fucking great.
Was it a film first, or was it like a Broadway show first?
It could have been a Broadway show. Who knows? But the original was like a black and white film with some guy in it or whatever. Anyway, yeah. But this
Did it have music, or was it a serious film?
No, it was well serious. Like it was fucking serious.
All right,
It was like this plant's fucking eating shit. It's like a pure horror. Like it's like a Russian. Good night, kids.
So
I'm going to tell you a story.
Communist tale about like,
exactly.
like agriculture will kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys over there, the non-communists, they're basically massive plants in. No, don't do that. They're like capitalism kills. But this film is so good. Like the music is so good, and I just love it. It's so funny. Oh shit! What's his name? So Steve Martin's got loads of cameos. Steve Martin plays a great role as a dentist, and oh god, one of his clients is fuck off the guy from Groundhog Day. What's his name? You know him?
What? Bill Murray?
Yeah, Bill Murray is in it, and he plays a fantastic character in it. It's just brilliant.
Bill Murray.
It's just lovely.
Bill Murray in the 80s he's my favourite actor in Eddie T's films.
Yeah. I watched Groundhog Day yesterday, by the way.
I love that film.
So good. So good.
That's got ratings, that film. Also really creepy because he just travels through, like he just keeps waking up the same day just to bone a girl.
Yeah, complete predator.
Yeah.
Complete predator.
Like horrendous like stalking film, but
yeah,
it's hilarious at the same time. It is.
Predator. Yeah, anyway, go on. Right,
oh no, because it's got like like in it, it's got a huge cast actually. It's got like Rick Moranis, like John Candy as well. John Candy was a great actor.
Yes, yeah.
Loss. It's saying that it even had Danny John Jules, who played Cat in Red Dwarf, in it.
Yes, yeah.
That's a really bit of a surprise.
There are 3 ladies in it that do like a lot of the background music in also, and they are absolutely
like the Ronettes, I think.
The Ronettes, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So good. I like the tempo, the fluidity of it.
Because it's kind of like shoo-wop-de-wop type music, isn't it? Yeah.
Perfect. They actually do that. Shoo-wop. They do that. So yeah.
Okay. So I mean, why does Seymour grow?
Right. So Seymour is a plant. So basically, Rick Morales. Can't remember the character's name that he plays. Who is it? No, it is Seymour.
Okay,
because he calls the plant Seymour Jr. He really wants to make this flower shop successful. So down and out. They're going to lose loads of money. Then out of nowhere, this like plant appears from space, whatever. And he eventually finds out that it feeds on blood.
Okay.
And that's how it feeds. So it starts talking to him. He's like, I need more food and shit. So he has to like feed him blood. He ends up like feeding
customers
him.
Going like, and
Steve Martin, who is like the love interest's boyfriend, the horrible dentist, is like, chop him up, feed him to him.
Oh,
great. Family fun.
I'm just having a look at the director. It's directed by Frank Oz, who was the voice and puppeteer of Yoda in Star Wars.
Hang on, so he was a puppeteer and then he was a director.
He directed Little Shop of Horrors, yeah.
Great. Anything after that? Maybe not.
I don't know. I'm not googling that far ahead. But no, that's pretty cool though. Okay, all right. I might have to.
I've just got a strong. I've got like a strong link to it. It's like a grown-up film kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I get that. I like the fact that it's kind of like this happy-go-lucky do-wop film with such a horrible undertone to it.
Awful, like the worst.
Yeah.
Massive, like actually, like, oh my god, thinking of it actually now, if I watched it today, I'd be like, oh my god, the racial undertones in here are unbelievable. There's a lot of stereotypes in it
Okay.
and whatnot, but the
It
80s.
was appropriate at that time. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. Like, you could, if it was remade nowadays, it would be a completely different film and it would lose its thing. But even Rick Moranis is still a stereotype of like a white man, like he's just so nervous and all that stuff. So I could see, all right, I'll give it a go. This is, but it's not going to win.
I can't believe you've only watched it once. That's a joke.
I know. It's one of those films you feel like should be in every like movie watcher's like top something or other. Yeah. But mine's filled up with like Lord of the Rings, so
yeah, great. Like people who have like their top 5 films, you've just got one because they could separate that into 5 films. Or no, actually, you could just make one film and just say, oh yeah, they walked over there for a bit, and then cut out a fucking hour here and there. Do you know what I mean?
They walked over there.
Nora,
shut your mouth.
Yeah.
So I mean, with Lord of the Rings, like, and this is I love Lord of the Rings. I love the books. I love the films and what they tried to do with them as much as they could. Imagine it started filming at the back end of the 90s, like, and then what they've done with that, they changed cinema throughout those films. And it's hard to choose which one of the 3 is the best, but like any trilogy, the middle one is usually the best one because it ends with a sad note. So that's
apart from Star Wars, though.
No, Empire Strikes Back is all hope is lost.
Is that the middle one? I thought it was the last one.
No.
Oh.
Turn of the Jedi.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they're all happy at the end. Nah, not about that.
No. Ewoks all celebrating.
Yeah. Well happy the woman I love is actually my sister. No, I'll be mortified.
Yeah.
I'd still bang her, but like, I'd be mortified.
She's a princess, bruh.
I would be happy. Sexually gratified, sure, but not happy. Fuck it out.
Get onto the weird stuff. Star Wars, we'll sort that out later.
All right, go on.
And I'm not going to include talking about the Hobbit trilogy because that's a disappointment. Not going to talk.
That's another fucking 40 years of your life. Oh, sorry, go on.
I'm not a fan of the Hobbit trilogy. I thought that was a bit.
Sorry. Right, so Peter Jackson is the boy. Done all of these. Did King Kong and everything like that. Yeah, great. So do you think that he's like one of these guys is like, right, I'm a director, I want this in the film, I want this in the film, I want this in the film. And then the editor and the producer's like, oh, well, I think we should keep this in. And he's like, no, I don't want to keep it in, but I want to be a good guy. So I'm like, yeah, keep that in. Yeah, okay, yeah.
What, just because of the length of it?
So, no, he's like, he doesn't want the film that long. But even so, the documentary series on Get Back, that's 3 episodes. Each of them are 3 hours long. Everything he has done is minimum of 3, as in, AKA 3 sides of a triangle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bringing it back.
And he just doesn't have the bollocks to tell his editors and producers, no, keep it in your pants. That's not staying in.
No, it's the opposite way around, because moviegoers don't want to have to sit through a trilogy, especially if each film is like touching 3 hours long. Like, they don't want to do it. So in fact, he's fighting for the right for it to remain as true to either the source material or give as much content over as possible. So in that respect, you try making Lord of the Rings into when he first started, he pitched it to many companies. They were like, nah, it's too long, can't do it, blah blah blah. One company said, like Miramax said, do you know what? Yeah, we'll give you a shot, but we don't want a trilogy. You're going to have to make it into 2 films. And he was like, nah, fuck it. So he just went off, and then finally, a company was like, yeah, okay, you can kind of do what you like here. You seem to really, really like it, and we'll give you what we can. And out of that, he didn't have all the money in the world, but that caused some great ingenuity from losing filmmakers to do false perspective for the hobbits, all this practical effects, while adding in loads of new CGI stuff and revolutionizing motion capture with Gollum and all these things. He pushed the boundaries there in Weta Workshop. Like,
He did.
Costume design is like nothing touches it. The storytelling to try to condense whole.
Oh, sorry. Costume design.
Yes.
Costume design. No, he went to the fucking British Heart Foundation and just got some like fucking bits of carpet and a bit of tinsel, and he was like, "Oh shit, we've run out of budget. All right,
No.
sorry, hobbits, can't afford to give you shoes. Fuck it." You're just going to have to be barefoot. Yeah, exactly. But I bet they did in the original story, but he ran out of fucking wardrobe budget.
He didn't know right. Hobbits are like earthly folk. They like to feel the ground beneath their feet, so they don't wear shoes. It impedes their feeling of being close to nature and the earth.
But then why are they wearing cloaks? Why are they wearing clothes? Why are they
cold?
Right. Their feet have got to be fucking cold, though.
Their feet are covered in like curly brown hair, which keeps them warm.
Nah, mate. Run out of nod.
You cannot.
Nah,
oh no,
Dad.
You cannot.
Nah,
Dad.
I've done it. No. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I know I'm going to lose this one. What I'm saying is, so Peter Jackson's gone like, oh yeah, I want to do this, and it's going to take 3 hours long, blah blah blah. If like, I'd be like, oh fuck this, I'm bored. I could pitch it in a minute. Right, there's a ring that needs to be destroyed. Give it to Little Hobbit. His little gang is going to be guided by a wizard who's like, oh, I can do anything, but I fucking won't. You've got to do it yourself. And then the elves get involved and the fucking dwarves, and then he melts the ring anyway. The end. Done. Oh,
I mean, you could sum it up like
horses. Yeah.
But then, okay, yeah, but then you miss like it's human drama in like extra human fantasy setting. It's the original
like,
fantasy story.
The tree ends. They're well humanistic, aren't they?
Yeah. The trees represent nature against industry, which Saruman was creating at that time with his burning down of Fangorn Forest.
Right. Yeah.
To create like the war machine of the Urukai.
Right. Great. So, well, like fucking Fern Gully.
Okay, Fern Gully's very similar.
It actually is, isn't it?
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
no, I chose the Two Towers because I feel like it has the best beat points in it. The moments in it are the best. Like, all hope is lost. The Fellowship have separated. You've got the three concurrent stories kind of running alongside each other with Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. You got Sam and Frodo who meet Gollum, who's like amazing in this. Merry and Pippin doing their own fucking thing with the Ents. And yeah, I'll admit that's the lacking one in the three stories, but it also has a massive part to play. So it's perfect in that respect, and it's perfect because it kind of just ends on a bit of a downer. Like, Helm's Deep is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Beautiful.
Film.
Still to this day as well.
Yeah, don't think like you can't. Although there was a lot of CGI involved in it, it was still very like practically shot. All the effects are pretty much, there. Yeah, it's kind of like an all hope is lost type situation. Like it's perfect. It encapsulates like Lord of the Rings perfectly for me.
It does.
Yeah. So that's.
And I love the film. I do. I'm just fucking about. I love these films. I absolutely do. They're great, cinematic and everything. But do you think, especially in the second film, the teams are a little bit unfair? Like, like back in the day when we were at school, we were like choosing teams of football, and it's the equivalent of like what you got fucking like what Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli.
Yeah,
like you got those three. Yeah.
Yep.
That's one team, right?
Yep.
We'll say that's like the French team in France '98. And then over the other road, you got Stoke, the Stoke team, which is like fucking what? Bilbo and Samwise Gamgee and
Frodo.
And I'm not being funny. The most important thing in the whole of it is that fucking ring, right? Where Frodo's got a transporter about. Give him the good team. Give him the fucking good team. What's Gandalf fucking around having an identity crisis the whole time? Oh, I'm great. Now I'm white. Oh, yeah. Oh, the trees fucking around in the forest. Bashing one out. No.
No, but like the thing is, like it has to be that these good folk, and you watch the good folk who are the hobbits get eventually corrupted, or Frodo especially, being corrupted by this massive burden, and the fact that his love interest of sorts, Samwise Gamgee, is always there, but a loyal friend to the end, and like you know.
So if they can't handle it, give the ring to someone else.
Yeah,
give
but
the
he
ring
can't.
to fucking
The
Aragorn.
ring has the power. Like Aragorn doesn't want the ring. He in the first one, he's like, no, I can't do this.
Dad.
I'll fight for you. But
Legolas, give him the ring.
He doesn't know what it is.
Well, he doesn't know what it is. You're telling
he
me
does. He does.
like,
yeah. Like
elf that is like 3 million years old and still can't grow a beard. He doesn't know what a fucking ring is.
You never see elf with a beard. This is true.
Yeah, or like Gimli. Like, what? You're not going to give him the ring? I would give him the ring because he would fucking.
What, a dwarf? All they do is mine shit. He'd love it forever.
Mine shit. I didn't see him mind fuck all. He mined 0. Actually, yeah. If I was like, oi, like if I was in charge of some, if I was like in charge of some fucking coal mine, or like if I was in Temple of Doom. Right, and I'll be like, oi, Gimli, go and mine some shit. He'll be like, no, I'm not mining shit. It'll be on Slinger's Hook. Shit miner, give him the ring.
So you would say at the beginning of this, Gandalf should have just given the ring to Gimli.
Or why didn't Gandalf just go, oh yeah, this is fucking dangerous. I'm popping up the mountain. I'm going to throw it in there then. Why didn't he do it himself?
Because it's really...
What? Because he loves the drama.
Loves the drama. He does love the drama. To be fair, he was very aware of the events that were going to take place anyway and just let them play out. So that's kind of, his failing there. But...
It's narcissistic, really, isn't it?
It is massively narcissistic. It's difficult to say. There are many story points you feel like, they could have just flown on the Eagles straight there and there wouldn't be any drama.
Yes.
The events wouldn't have played out in the same way. It had to happen.
What? Oh my god, yeah, never even thought that. What's Frodo and Samwise Gamgee doing fucking around trying to sleep on a mountain when they can just jump on an eagle and just drop that in there?
To be fair, the Eagles don't really want to get involved. But Gandalf's
sitting on the fence.
Yeah, sitting on a giant fence. They're massive.
Giant fucking fence.
Yeah.
He could have just gone like, right, I've got this ring. Let's pop over to the Atlantic Ocean. I know a triangle out there. Pop that in there. Job's a good one.
It would have been gone forever.
Put that on the hand of Ian Watkins. See ya. Ian Watkins be like, put the ring on. I'm invisible now. Look at me.
First time he's had a tiny ring on his finger.
Oh. Yes. Mate. I mean, all conjecture. There's no science behind that.
No idea, although there's plenty of evidence that
there's got to be proof, yeah.
So this is going to be tough. This is going to be... So I am instantly going to go with Lord of the Rings because reasons that it's my film and I want it to go through. And you know how much I love Lord of the Rings. You came round one time and I was reading The Hobbit, eating an apple, and it was the best day of my life.
Oh my god! Actually, yeah, that exact time. I come up to your house and I'm like, right, all right, Paul. And outside your house, there were like fucking police everywhere and all this shit. I come into your house and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on outside? Don't know. Just reading this book, eating a golden delicious. Like, yeah, fair enough.
No worries in the world. Didn't care about what was happening. I was too far into Tom Bombadil's story.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings all day long. It's a great film. It is a fucking amazing film. Like, as much as I jest about it, I love it. I do love it.
Yeah. So that then puts Akira versus Lord of the Rings. That's going to be horrible. And then we got Step Brothers versus Forrest Gump in the first of the semi-finals. It's getting tricky now. Right, so that is the first half of the tournament.
You have been listening to the In My Humble Opinion podcast, part 1 of Movie Showdown. Join us on Instagram by searching at humbleopinions_podcast or viewing us on YouTube by searching In My Humble Opinion Pod, or one word.